I would say that living in a tiny house has nothing to do with living in a small space. Really, it's about designing and building a home that truly fits us and our needs. And this next tiny home is a perfect example of just that. Hey Lee, it's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for coming.
It is absolutely my pleasure. And look at this place. This is absolutely charming.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a hard road to find this one. It took a few properties to scout out, and this one definitely ticked all the boxes. It works perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely exquisite gardens here. You're obviously a very keen gardener.
Yeah, it's a good way to chill out at the end of the day. You get your hands in the dirt and really let go of what the day's been, so it's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the best place possible to park your beautiful tiny home.
Yeah, definitely. We've got these windrows around us, which I actually quite like. They offer a little bit more shelter. And that one is an east-facing windrow, but that does mean sort of you're tucked away a little bit more. And yeah, I don't get the morning sun, but I definitely enjoy the evening sun.
Just makes sleeping in a little easier.
Definitely.
And can you talk to me about how it is that you came to be here in your tiny home?
Yeah, okay. So my marriage came to an end, and the property that we were on, I shared with my mum and dad as well. It was just quite a big property. We needed to downsize, and I knew that I wanted a tiny. I wanted to change the way that I was living. So yeah, it was just all about finding something that could fit mum and dad and fit my tiny. Yeah, so this is it.
Perfect. And it's lovely that you've got such a close relationship with your mum and dad.
I'm very fortunate. I'm an only child, so that works really, really well. And it means that they're there to support me and I'm there to support them.
And what was it that really made you fall in love with the idea of living in a tiny home?
The simplicity. Just cut all of that dead waste that you don't actually need and just living a much simpler life, freeing up some of my capital. I didn't have a whole lot of capital, so this worked really well. And just having the things in your life that matter.
And your home is absolutely beautiful. Can you talk to me about the design of your home?
Yeah, so as I was saying, I wanted something quite simple, black and white. It works quite well and it ties in nicely with gardening, with the flower pots and that. I just like to keep that quite simple as too. In my mind, when I was designing it, I had this whole big long porch across the front of it, and I thought that would be really cool. And then I thought, no, I just want to pare that right back. So I've got this really cool little back porch, I guess, that's just enough for me to get in and out of in the rain, using as much recycled material as I could for that one. And yeah, I just wanted it simple. I guess that's the only criteria I had with the exterior.
Yeah. There really is a tremendous amount to be said for simplicity, isn't there?
Most definitely.
And you still have this lovely outdoor area as well.
Yeah, so this is a nicely tucked away spot away from the wind when it is a bit windy, and I've got the nice afternoon sun, so it actually gets quite hot just tucked away in there.
Yeah. And in addition to your tiny home, you've also got the sleepout here as well.
Yeah, so that actually came in first, and one of my teenage daughters, they were in there for a little while. So yeah, that works really well. I just wanted a little bit away from the house as well, so it wasn't sort of all cramped in together. And then it kind of creates this feeling of a little bit more of an outdoor room as well between them. It sort of fits quite nicely, I think.
Yeah. I think with guest accommodation, it's actually really nice if you can separate it a little bit from the main house, isn't it?
That's right. And being that they're up on piles, you do hear people walk around a little bit, so it's quite nice to have that distance between you.
Yeah, absolutely. And between the main house, the tiny house, and the sleep out, it's almost like you've got a little community here. Yeah,
definitely. It is quite nice. Mum and Dad have got a cowbell, so if it's morning tea time or a meal time, the cowbell goes, and yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. It's nice.
I absolutely love that.
So you don't miss out on a cake or some biscuits or something like that. So it's good.
Oh, well, I'll be listening out for that bell.
Yeah.
Well, if the house is half as beautiful as your garden, I am very excited to see inside. Can we take a peek?
Yeah, totally. Let's go.
Alrighty. This is absolutely lovely. I love how simple and open the design is.
Yeah, it is super cool. So there's only so much you can do, I think, with a single level design. I really like how open it is. I like having the separate spaces divided, and then adding that colour sort of creates it as an individual house and makes it more individual.
Yeah, I completely agree. And to that end, your colour choices in here are really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to create something really moody, and I wanted to have a feeling of being wrapped around and coming home to a place that felt really snuggly. I was really tempted to do all the walls in a dark colour, but I sort of pared back a little bit and just done one in the light colour, in the white. But I feel that kind of pushes that wall out and it actually makes it feel bigger, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it does have that wonderful kind of deep moodiness to it where you sort of feel like you're moving into the dark corner of the forest or something.
Yeah, totally. And the windrow, being the east side, does add to that feeling, particularly, you know, when you're not getting the sun and it's a bit of a moody day outside. It definitely adds to that feeling of being in this little cabin tucked away in the bush somewhere.
Absolutely. And a nice lounge space here as well with a very comfortable looking armchair.
Yeah, it is a very comfortable armchair with a little blanket as well. So it's really nice in the evenings.
Yeah. And it is quite a cozy looking lounge, but it doesn't look like it's very well set up for entertaining.
Yeah, but I've got this awesome space outside, so it all just flows out there. Yeah, this is about me and my space and me coming in from my day at work and just recovering from my day at work and nurturing myself. Yeah.
Exactly as it should be.
A very selfish only child coming through, I think.
But that is what's important. Like it is so important to that end to really design for you and your needs. That is what tiny house living is all about, right?
100%, I agree. I believe that your home should be an extension of who you are and should recharge you and get you ready again for another day out in the world. And I really like the idea of it being an extension of who I am, and you can sort of come into my space and see a little bit about my personality and who I am. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the nice bookshelf behind you as well?
Yeah, so I've got a few books in there, but there's a lot of personal mementos, either from family members or friends or travel. So I quite like being able to see those things and enjoy those things.
Yeah. All the little treasures we get to keep with us.
Totally, yeah. And you're quite often in a tiny home, you might not have the opportunity to have all of those big things, but there's definitely spots for little things.
Yeah. And your kitchen area here, this is lovely and spacious.
Yeah, it is. I'm super stoked with how that's turned out. You might have noticed I've got black aluminium joinery in the kitchen window there, and the rest of the house is white. I just wanted that to blend in. I didn't want any sort of big chunky white joinery showing through.
Yeah, so that's a good decision, because I think if there was a pop of white behind those tiles, it would totally lose that effect, wouldn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
And the window, I love that window. It's a good window when I'm sitting down in my chair, and it's just the right height for when I'm working at the kitchen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely underlights coming from the cabinetry as well.
Yeah, they're really great. I enjoy them as a good work light. You don't have any shadows or anything, so they work well, the little strip light under the cabinetry, definitely.
Absolutely. And an abundance of storage and all the necessary appliances in here too?
Yes, definitely. Plenty of storage. In my day, I've been a big cook and a big baker, but I've pulled that right back. It doesn't have a dishwasher, but I have got a spot for a dishwasher. But for myself, there's hardly any dishes, so easily done.
Yeah, just keep it simple, eh? And no shortage of cookbooks up there.
Well, that's pared right back. I had a lot of cookbooks, a lot. I collected a lot. So, yeah, I've just held on to my favourites.
Fair enough too.
Yeah.
But you don't cook so much for yourself anymore?
No, not really. I'm all about the one pot wonder now. So on a Sunday, I'll do a big cook up, freeze it up, and then I've got a good mix now of different dishes that I pull out during the week when I when I'm eating at home.
What a good idea.
Yeah, it works really, really well. Yeah. Not cooking all the time and making a mess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got the fold-out table and some stacked chairs here too.
Yeah. So when the kids come to eat, that's a perfect spot for us to sit around, and 3 chairs, there's 3 of us. Yeah, and if mum and dad come over, once again, there's 3 of us, so it works really well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what do we have in the next room?
So that's our bedroom.
Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
I absolutely love this room. This wallpaper is exquisite. What a feature it makes.
Yeah, I'm super pleased with this find. As soon as I saw it, I knew that's what it was. It's got heaps of colours that I can use for my soft furnishings, and it just really adds that pop of colour that I was looking for in a snuggly cave-like environment.
Yeah, it really does add this lovely pop of colour. And you're right, everything else in here is really kind of dark and quite comforting, which just makes for such a nice sleeping space.
Yep, totally. If I close my 2 doors and have the blinds down, it makes for a really dark spot. So it's really easy to go to sleep in a spot that's nice and dark and cosy. You just feel really snuggled in and comforted and secure.
And the window here gives you this lovely peek out into the garden. What a spot just to sit in bed and look out onto your garden while you have a cuppa.
Totally. So that's what my weekend's about, a nice lazy start. I think if I had that original porch idea that I wanted, I would have lost some of that effect. It would have closed in that. And even at night, you can see the skyline in bed and the stars. So yeah, it's a cool spot. I'm so pleased that I've got that window right there.
Yeah. And that chandelier certainly adds a lot of character to the room.
Yes, that was a must. I don't recommend assembling chandeliers, but I'm so pleased I persevered and I got the chandelier in. That was something I really wanted. For all the aesthetics that I was looking at, the chandelier was a must to create that feeling. Yeah.
I completely agree. It really is quite a lovely element in here. Not a lot of storage in here though. You've got the bedside table, but I like the way that you've kept this room really simple, because there is something to be said for just keeping your sleeping space really clean and just really simple, isn't there?
Yep, I agree. I just wanted a space that had a little bit of room to move around. I have got some tubs underneath the bed, so things are hidden away, and I've got a solution for my storage in my walk-in wardrobe, I like to call it. Yeah.
Very nice. Can we have a look at that next?
Yeah, let's go.
You're right, this is a really nice layout. You've got the big wardrobe here, great sized bathroom that's also kind of separated from it. And I really like that you've got a second entrance here as well.
Yeah, so that was key. I definitely wanted that other entrance, and it's just my personal entrance now. So I sort of set it up quite nicely. I pretend it's my little walk-in wardrobe with my ensuite, and yeah, have a bit of fun with that.
Absolutely. And beautiful styling in this bathroom as well. Again, the green with the gold mirror. It looks like you spend quite a lot of time sort of collecting these little treasures.
Well, funny you should say that. The family items, so the mirror was my nana's, and the vase on the wall there was my mother's nana. So they're just family things, and I love them, so they just go up.
Yeah. I think when you can add those little kind of heirlooms to a home, it just immediately transforms a space into something that's just so much more connected and personal.
Yeah, I agree. I've not actually had to buy anything to fit in here. It's just stuff that I've had or have been passed to me, so I just use it.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Everything has a story then.
Totally.
And I really like the layout of this bathroom as well. You've got a great sized shower here and a nice vanity.
Yep, it's a very usable space. A full-size shower, great size vanity, plenty of storage. I don't feel I'm missing out on anything.
Great.
Yeah.
Composting toilet here too?
Yep, it is. I didn't know how that was going to go. I've got my head around it now. So yeah, I think it's the best way to go. It's the best solution for a tiny home, and I wouldn't bother with a flushing toilet again. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, great solution.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been living in your tiny house now?
Yeah, so October will be 12 months.
Wow. And how's tiny house life working out for you?
Oh, look, I'm loving it. I'm so pleased I made the decision to move into a tiny house. It's freed up my time. I have the things that I love around me. It just ticks all of those boxes. It's been a really great decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the way that it sort of gives you this wonderful place all to yourself, but still allows you to sort of exist in community with your family as well. I think that's especially lovely.
Yeah, I am a believer of community. As you said, that is a big thing. We support one another. We do working bees in the garden. We can grow vegetables together. I think if you can do it with your family, it's a really great way to live and share those costs.
I am such a proponent for multi-generational living. I think we need to bring it back to the Western world.
100%. And for our children, my children, when they were growing up, they had that connection with their grandparents as well. And they still have a really strong bond with their grandparents. And we oh man, it works. It really, really works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So living in a tiny house has taught me the things that are important. Connection to family, having family items around me, a reminder of my heritage, who I am, where I've been, my journey, connection to the community. It gives me time to volunteer in the community, to be involved in our community. It's taught me to love being in a space that sort of embodies me and talks about who I am.
And you have created yourself such a lovely home here. You've got so many wonderful personalized touches, and obviously as well, everything has been built to a really high standard. Can we talk about the cost that was involved in building your home?
Yeah, so we've got the 2 buildings here. Everything you see came in around the 220K mark. So that was my budget and I ticked all those boxes. The guys that built this for me, we worked really close together to come in under that budget and get the things that I really wanted. So yeah, it was a awesome thing to achieve.
It's a great result. Yeah. And your home is now completed and you're wonderfully set up on the land here. Can you talk to me about what the future holds for you now?
Oh, well, definitely travel.
Nice.
So yeah, that's one of my big things that I'm saving for now is travel. I've also got hot water plumbing outside. So I had this vision of having some sort of outdoor shower space. So I'm just thinking about how I can pull that together now. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good next project.
Definitely. Yeah, nothing like showering out in the wilderness.
I completely agree. Lee, this is an absolutely exquisite home that you've built for yourself. I love how much of your family history and character comes through in this space. I love the way that this is also a home that just allows you to be so wonderfully connected to your parents, your daughters when they come and stay. This really is a house that I feel just fits you beautifully. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
You're very welcome. It's been a pleasure.
When we design and build ourselves a tiny house, it's an opportunity for us to create a space that truly fits us. And what Lee has done here in this home is a perfect example of that. This is a home that showcases her loves, her character. It's a space that fits her spatially as well as emotionally. You can really tell that this house is just right for her, and I can see why she is so excited to now be living here.